Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today, basically, I thought I'd share my experience of writing NEET 2025 with all of you guys. And also, I'll be talking about everything, that went through my head when I was writing the paper and how I actually solved the paper and then what were my thoughts after the paper and, just the whole thing. So yeah, before we start, if you're new to the channel, my name is Anusha Verma and I scored 610 out of 720 in NEET 2025 with an All India rank of 790. And yeah, let's get started. So, firstly, I'll talk about the day before NEET, what I actually did the day before NEET. So, I had like these little sticky notes that I had posted on my bookshelf, and I used to basically that the whole plan for the day was just to revise those sticky notes because all those sticky notes had all of the important points, that I felt had a really good chance of coming in NEET, and actually some of them did actually also come in NEET. So, yeah, I mean, I was just basically revising those the full day, nothing special, but yeah, but what happened in the night was like really traumatizing for me. So I went to sleep at around 12. I mean, I started to sleep around 11:30 in the night, but I went to sleep at 12 thinking that I'll wake up, मैं like उठ जाऊंगी 8 बजे, एंड देन फिर 8 बजे मैं उठ के थोड़ा बहुत रिवाइज कर लूंगी. मेरा प्लान था कि मुझे बेसिकली प्लांट फैमिलीज एक बार फिर से देखनी थी, न्यू वाली प्लांट फैमिलीज, और उनके एग्जाम्पल्स मुझे फिर से रिवाइज करने थे. सो आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, आई विल डू दैट इन द मॉर्निंग. तो मतलब वही प्लान था क्योंकि 2 बजे एग्जाम स्टार्ट होना है, लाइक 1 बजे अगर वहाँ पे पहुंच जाएंगे तो ठीक होगा. तो आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, काफ़ी टाइम होगा, 8 to 12, तो सॉरी 8 to 1, देयर इज इनफ टाइम. तो बेसिकली क्या हुआ कि जब मैं 12 बजे सोने गई, कॉल इट एंग्जाइटी, स्ट्रेस, वट, मुझे नींद नहीं आई, बिल्कुल भी मुझे नींद नहीं आई. एंड आई थिंक 4 4 बजे तक मुझे बिल्कुल नींद नहीं आई थी. एंड फिर मैं मैं रोई भी थी रात में. एंड आई वाज जस्ट, आई मुझे तब भी लग रहा था कि अब मुझे नींद देने जाना ही नहीं है क्योंकि मुझसे हो ही नहीं पाएगा, क्योंकि मतलब वही रहता है ना दिमाग में कि इफ यू नीड टू हैव अ गुड sleep, right? At least like 7 to 8 hours you need to sleep before writing literally the most important exam of my life at that point. तो आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, अब मैं क्या करूँ, अब तो मुझे नीट देना ही नहीं है. मैं रो रही थी एंड देन मेरी मम्मी ने मुझे उनकी लिटरली गोदी में बैठ के सुलाया था. एंड या तो फाइनली लाइक मैं 4 बजे सोई थी और फिर मैं आई थिंक अराउंड 9-10 बजे उठ गई थी. एंड यू कैन, एज यू कैन प्रोबेबली टेल, मतलब मेरी मेंटल स्टेट बिल्कुल भी अच्छी नहीं थी. लाइक मुझे, मेरे दिमाग में बस ये था कि ओ शिट, मुझे नींद, मैंने पूरी रात नींद नहीं ली ठीक से, अब मेरा दिमाग फ्रेश नहीं होगा, मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगी एग्जाम में. इट वाज ऑल लाइक रियली फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग फॉर मी. तो आई स्टिल रिमेंबर लाइक आई हैड फुल ऑन ब्लैक कॉफी एंड आई वाज लाइक देयर शुड बी नॉट अ yawn from my mouth when I'm writing the paper because मुझे obviously नींद नहीं, I didn't want to feel sleepy during the exam, right? And फिर मतलब I basically got really demotivated, but I did revise the plant families and go, because I was like कि मतलब चलो, मतलब हो ही गया है कांड तो अब क्या कर सकते हैं. बट फिर भी लाइक आई रिवाइज्ड मॉर्फोलॉजी अ बिट एंड देन वी वेंट फॉर द एग्जाम. ठीक है. एंड द सेंटर वाज अबाउट लाइक 40 minutes अवे फ्रॉम माय हाउस. ठीक है, तो हम गाड़ी में गए थे एंड वी वर लाइक, इवन थ्रू आउट द कार राइड आई वाज ट्राइंग टू स्लीप. आई वाज लाइक थोड़ा तो मुझे नैप लेने दो ताकि मैं फ्रेश हूँ. मैं वहाँ पे भी नैप नहीं कर पाई. मतलब लाइक आई हैड क्लोज माई आईज एंड आई वाज जस्ट लाइंग डाउन, बट लाइक आई डिड नॉट एक्चुअली गो टू स्लीप. सो इट वाज लाइक ओ शिट, मतलब पूरे स्टार्टिंग में ही, मतलब पहुंचने से पहले आई थिंक हम 5-10 मिनट दूर थे. मुझे इतना पैनिक अटैक आ रहा था कि यार मैं सोई नहीं हूँ रात भर. ठीक है, तो ऑब्वियसली आई थिंक एंजाइटी ज़्यादा थी मोर देन लैक ऑफ स्लीप. बट हाँ, फिर मैंने आई वाज लाइक चलो थोड़ा काम डाउन हो जाते हैं. अब ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस लेने से कुछ फ़ायदा नहीं है. तो द मेन थिंग इज यू हैव टू स्टे काम बिफोर द टेस्ट. आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, पैनिक होने से अब कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होगा, सो काम डाउन. Yeah, so we had some fruit juice also before going to the center, just to like calm down and have something before writing the exam. So yeah, then we went into the center. I went into the center at around like 1 o'clock. एंड फिर मेरा जो है, आई थिंक लाइक टेस्ट, मतलब जो भी वो टेस्ट नहीं, वो चेक करते हैं लाइक बॉडी चेक एंड देन ऑल्सो जो बायोमेट्रिक्स करते हैं, उसमें आराम से लाइक 20-30 मिनट्स लग गए थे. एंड देन मैं 1:30 या 120 मान लेके चलो, 1:20 में सेंटर के अंदर गई. ठीक है, बट प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि मेरा जो, आई थिंक हमारा जो एडमिट कार्ड होता है उस पर बेसिकली काइंड ऑफ एक वो सील होती है, ठीक है। एंड वो कुछ सेंटर्स पे होता है, आई डोंट नो सारे सेंटर्स में होता है या नहीं, बट मेरे उस पर सील नहीं थी, तो फिर पूरा उस पर ड्रामा हुआ कि तुम्हारे उस पर सील नहीं है, सो यू कांट गो इनसाइड. So that wasted another 15-20 minutes, but then later it got sorted because not everyone had to have a seal and all that, but I was fine. तो आई वेंट इन साइड द क्लास रूम एंड मैं सबसे लास्ट बेंच पे बैठी थी. एंड आई वॉज इन बैंगलोर, ठीक है. तो बेसिकली बैंगलोर में दोपहर का टाइम इतनी गर्मी नहीं होती है, थैंकफुली. एटलीस्ट इन मे दैट टाइम इट वॉज नॉट दैट हॉट. And also on where I was sitting there was no fan, so I was kind of like thinking ki, should I have no fan over here, what am I gonna do? But thankfully, I mean, it wasn't such a big deal. But I know that in other places, you know, not having a fan in the afternoon and writing an exam can be really really hectic. So I'm really thankful कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता मेरे साथ. But हाँ, तो फिर एग्ज़ाम 2 बजे, लाइक आई थिंक 1:50-1:55 तक सब लोग आ गए थे. एंड मतलब यू नो, अगर वॉशरूम जाना था तो मैं वॉशरूम भी पहले ही हो आए थे. इट्स लाइक सेफेस्ट बेटर टू, यू नो, गो टू द वॉशरूम इफ यू हैव टू गो बिफोर द एग्जाम, डोंट गो ड्यूरिंग द एग्जाम, ठीक है. सो आई वेंट बिफोर द एग्जाम and I came, and you know, they started distributing the paper at 2. They started, like, the OMR sheet they had distributed, and that's also I find myself really really grateful for that as well, because you know, काफी सारे centers में वो paper late देते हैं, but thankfully हमें paper, मतलब प्रोसेस शुरू हो गई थी 2 बजे, क्योंकि मतलब मैंने ऐसे भी काफ़ी सारे वीडियोस देखी थी यूट्यूब पे जहाँ पे वो कह रहे थे कि काफ़ी सारा डिले हुआ था. सो यू नो, इट्स आई अप्रिशिएट माई सेंटर फॉर बीइंग अ लिटिल बिट पंक्चुअल. एंड या, फिर हमें ये पेपर मिला, ये है मेरा नीट का पेपर. एंड मुझे कोड 46 मिला था. तो ऐसे बेसिकली, oops, मेरा नाम एंड रोल नंबर, बट आई डोंट नो, I'll try to blur that out, but okay, anyways. So this was basically my paper, code 46. And yeah, at 2:10 to 15, okay, we were allowed to open the paper and we were allowed to start writing, ठीक है. And हाँ, I mean, so what I did basically, usually when I used to write my mock test, so okay, let me tell you how I wrote my paper. So usually when I used to write the mock tests, मैं क्या करती थी, मैं पहले हमेशा फिजिक्स करती थी, फिर मैं बायो करती थी, फिर मैं केम करती थी, ठीक है. बट मेरी टीचर्स ने मुझे कहा था कि डोंट, लाइक यू नो, डोंट डू फिजिक्स फर्स्ट, डू बायो फर्स्ट एंड देन मूव ऑन टू फिजिक्स एंड केम, ठीक है. सो आई वाज लाइक, ठीक है, लेट मी ट्राई दैट. I had done it in a few mock tests, bio, physics, and then chem, and somehow there was this voice inside me who was like कि बेटा आज तुम पहले बायो करो, ठीक है, पेपर में बायो करो पहले. So I was like, ठीक है, बायो ही कर लेते हैं. तो मैंने फिजिक्स खोला भी नहीं, ठीक है. ये जो लाइक ये सील थी हमारी, बट एनीवेज मैंने फिजिक्स खोला भी नहीं था, ठीक है. आई स्ट्रेट ऑफ वेंट टू द बायो सेक्शन. लेट मी शो यू द बायो सेक्शन. होल्ड ऑन. केमिस्ट्री देख के मुझे बहुत रोना आता है. But hold on, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, this is the first bio question, 91. एंड मैंने ये शीट खोली थी, ठीक है. मुझे ये वाला पार्ट देखना ही नहीं था, क्योंकि ये पूरा केमिस्ट्री वाला पार्ट था. मैंने ये वाला पार्ट देखा भी नहीं, ठीक है. मैंने सिर्फ, मेरी निगाह यहाँ पे थी, लाइक आई वाज लाइक ओनली फोकसिंग ऑन दिस पार्ट, ठीक है. आई वाज लाइक, ठीक है, चलो, लेट मी, यू नो, रीड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. एंड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज क्वाइट इजी. इट वाज लाइक अ मैच द फॉलोइंग ऑफ लाइक द डिफरेंट हॉर्मोन्स एंड वेयर दे आर रिलीज्ड फ्रॉम, ठीक है. So I was like, ठीक है, this is good enough. I'm happy with this question. And then came the next question in bio. This is like, you can see, it's like a really really big question. Okay, it's a really big question, statement based question. So I was like, this is basically on biotech. It's like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, some must be 11th graders over here. So it's like biotechnology ka chapter, ka question basically. So I was like, it would, and it's also a good question, by the way. It's not some easy textbook question. It was a good question, I felt. ठीक है. And I was like, ठीक है, this is good, you know, maybe 1 or 2 questions here and there bio में, ठीक है. I was still in a very good calm situation, ठीक है. I was not freaking out. So I was like, ठीक है, let's move on to the next page. And then I saw the next page, and then also another assertion reason question. So now I was like, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, you know, it's fine, we're good, we're fine. And till the time I was in this question, 97th वाला question, they are basically asking the unit of productivity in an ecosystem, ठीक है. तो basically correct answer मैंने किया था किलो कैलोरी पर मीटर स्क्वायर पर ईयर, ठीक है. बट मुझे थोड़ा डाउट आने लगा था इस क्वेश्चन पे, क्योंकि I was like, shit, क्या होता है, क्योंकि एग्जाम में होता है ना कि आप भूल जाते हो, मतलब you know stuff but you forget it in the spur of the moment, you just forget it definitely. many people, I'm sure, they would know everything before the exam, but then during the exam they just blank out. The same thing happened to me. Okay? And this is where I started to sort of panic. But still, I was like, Anusha, deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. I was like, calm down. Okay? And when did I actually start to panic? The time that I actually started to panic was in this question, the infamous twins wala question. मतलब वो basically पूछता है ना कि fraternal identical जो भी है, twins are born to a family that lives next door to you, okay, the twins are a boy and a girl, so basically what type of twins are they? तो मैंने ये क्वेश्चन सही किया था, फ्रेटर्नल ट्विंस, क्योंकि मतलब मैंने रिप्रोडक्शन में पढ़ा था कि इफ यू नो इट्स आल्सो लाइक लॉजिक ना कि आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट द होल डिटेल्स, सो डोंट factually correct me, but I was like, if they have to be formed from the same embryo, then they must have the same gender, right? So if they're different genders, then it must be two different embryos. So that means it kind of must be fraternal twins, right? So I was like, they can't be identical. So that was the whole logic behind it. And sort of from then on, because even over here we had the pedigree question. Okay, pedigree question mein I put 1 by 4, and there was a lot of controversy around this, key is it 1 by 2 or 1 by 4. But like you can see, I have like done all the calculations over here. I don't know if you can see it. Like I have done, like it took me a long time to solve this question. I was like, it's okay Anusha, it's okay Anusha, it's okay. The whole time I was solving this question, I was like, कोई बात नहीं, एक दो questions होंगे, एक दो questions होंगे. But I was like, यार बहुत time लग रहा है इसमें. And by this time it was already like 2:30, no, not 2:30, it was like 2, yeah, 2:20 types, 2:20. Okay, it was 2:20, and I'm like, shit, I haven't even solved, like, the first half. I haven't even gone from like 45 questions. Yeah, 35 something. Yeah, but sorry. Um, I was like, I haven't even solved one half of bio, right? I was like, shit, I have to speed up. So then I started to speed up, and when I start to speed up, I make a lot of silly mistakes. So yeah, this is also a question in bio that I was like, the equation again. This was, what is it called? Biosphere. Population. Yeah, I know I probably seem stupid now, but I don't remember a lot of this stuff anymore. But yeah, so um, so yeah, I wait. Let me show you something I did incorrect. Yes, this question. This was, oh yes, the fig fruit question. I got it wrong. Why did I get it wrong? Because I got the second statement wrong. मैंने ढंग से पढ़ा नहीं, because I was in that mode कि जल्दी 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 जल्दी. Because see, generally when I used to do my mock tests, I used to finish bio within like 20-30 minutes max, ठीक है? And यहाँ पे 30 minutes already हो चुके थे और मेरा आधा bio भी complete नहीं हुआ था. So I was like जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी, and I was like, ठीक है यार, ये NTA वाले कुछ भी कर देते हैं, कुछ भी बकवास क्वेश्चन रख रहे हैं, I don't care, I'm gonna do it properly. So I was like, you know what, let me read it. But I was, so statement one, so I read it very nicely. I was like, wow, this is a correct statement. Is it correct? No, it's a wrong statement. It's a wrong statement. But yeah, and then the second statement, I'm like, seems like a correct statement, whatever. I was like, it sort of seems like NTA that they're gonna make the first statement wrong, but the second statement correct. Which, don't make these assumptions, okay? They're going to cost you. But let me just tell you, when I finished bio, it was like 2:45. It was 2:45, and I had still not bubbled bio. Okay, so generally I had, doing the first and the rest all the paper. I would just tick the answers and I would keep moving ahead. Okay, so I got 340 in the end in bio. I got the fig question wrong, and I also got this. I got this question wrong. इतना दर्द होता है यार, मतलब माइक्रोब्स जैसे चैप्टर में जब आप गलत करके आते हो ना, तो बहुत दुख होता है. मतलब आई न्यू कि इट वॉज ए एंड सी के बीच में एक, ठीक है, बट मेरा दिमाग सी कह रहा था, लेकिन मैं अपने दिमाग की कभी सुनती नहीं हूँ, राइट? तो आई वाज लाइक, चलो ए ही मार के आ जाते हैं, बिकॉज मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ था जब मुझे पता चला कि माइक्रोब्स में मुझे गलत क्वेश्चन, मैंने गलत टिक करके आई हूँ, तो फिर But anyways, I even got this question wrong. Sequence of life cycle in bryophytes. No idea why, but I did get it wrong. And I also got, what else did I get wrong? Yes. Yes, this was a really good question. Like, I would say NTA. I like this question, but I got it wrong. So yeah, I honestly, so when I was in 168 questions, total 180 होते हैं, right? So I was in the state of mind कि I was looking at the clock more than I was looking at the paper, because I was like shit, 2:45 होने वाला है, 1 घंटा होने वाला है, मैंने बायो खत्म भी नहीं किया. So I was like जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ो, जल्दी जल्दी करो. It was like that, जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ो, जल्दी जल्दी करो. And in that, I was not able to really spend time to really read the question and understand the question, and yeah, that happened. But anyways, this was bio, ठीक है. बायो फिर भी मेरा मेंटल स्टेट ठीक था, इट वाज अच्छा, राइट, इट वाज नॉट बैड. एंड आई वाज लाइक चलो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू फिजिक्स नाउ, ठीक है. एंड फिजिक्स में फिजिक्स में तो फिजिक्स में बेसिकली मेरा जो पहला क्वेश्चन था फिजिक्स में, इट वाज द इजीएस्ट क्वेश्चन इन द होल पेपर. इट वाज दिस क्वेश्चन, like percentage error, like they gave you that and they're like blah blah blah, tell the percentage error. So when I read this question and did the question, I was like, yeah, physics is gonna be really great. So yeah, and then I read the next question. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I left this question, by the way. Intensity of the Polaroid at 22.5 degrees. I was like 45 degrees तो मैं कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन 22.5 degrees कैसे करना है bro? So yeah, I spent like a good 5 minutes on this question, which you shouldn't, but I did. And yeah, नहीं बना question, नहीं बना. And then I move on to the next question. The next question also was fine. It was like find the ratio of the magnetic moments. You just have to take the formula and you have to put it. So that was fine. Okay. And the next question was also like from Vernier scale. So that was also fine. And my battery, the thing came, so I just kind of paused for a second. Sorry about that. And when did I actually start to panic during physics? See, I did panic during physics. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, I kept telling myself कि it's okay, Anusha, it's okay. जब भी मैं क्वेश्चंस कर रही थी ना, मुझे अभी भी याद है कि I was like, अनुषा, हम एक्चुअल नीट में अच्छा करेंगे. And then it used to dawn on me. I was like, this is actual नीट, ठीक है. But the main thing that really helped me, I would say, is कि keeping a calm state of mind. क्वेश्चंस नहीं बन रहे, ठीक है, भाड़ में जाए क्वेश्चंस, हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हम अगले क्वेश्चन में मूव ऑन करेंगे. So that was sort of the thing that I followed for physics. कि if I'm not able to solve the question, I'm just gonna move ahead. If I'm not able to solve the question, I'll just move ahead. It's fine. I'm fine, totally fine. That was basically the whole thing that I kept telling myself, just to keep myself calm, because I was like, अभी chemistry भी करना है. So I was like, ठीक है, let's calm down, ठीक है, no need to panic. But this first page itself took me such a long time to do. I was like, great, 8 questions out of 45 done. Yeah. But oh yes, and I read this question, oxygen cylinder. Bro, this had like some really, like, I honestly do not know the solution to this till now because I never checked it. But it was this question. I'm sorry if you cannot read it. It's like an oxygen cylinder of volume 30 liter has 18.2 moles of oxygen, and you had to basically calculate and use your head in this, which I did not want to do that time. So I was like, okay, let me leave this, let me move ahead. And then it was like mostly physics was bad, all obviously. And I this question, according to the initial answer key, it came wrong. But then when they had released the bone, it was a correction bonus, I think, two answers for this, right? So I got that correct, and in total I got 144 in physics. And yeah, it was crazy. But see, let me tell you, okay, when I finished physics, it was 4:30. It was 4:30 when I finished physics. And I was like कि यार, chemistry, chemistry का क्या करें. And also you have to remember कि at this point I hadn't even bubbled my OMR. So I was like कि भाई अब क्या करना चाहिए, अभी हमें बबल करें या केमिस्ट्री करूँ, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था, ठीक है. एंड फिनिश फिजिक्स का मतलब ये नहीं कि मैंने सारे क्वेश्चंस कर लिए थे, ठीक है, अभी मेरे लाइक 4 क्वेश्चंस बचे थे. एंड एट द एंड आई एंडेड अप लीविंग दोस 4 क्वेश्चंस. सो आई वाज लाइक यार, तो मैंने क्या किया, ठीक है, 4:30 बजे, ठीक है. And I was like, you know what, let me just bubble all of my questions first in bio and chemistry, and then I'll worry about, sorry, bio and physics, and then I'll worry about chem, okay. So I was like, okay, let me bubble it. And it took me like 5-10 minutes to bubble it. It's 4:40 now. Yep. And I haven't even started chem. I haven't even started chem. Okay. So I moved on to chemistry. I was like, okay, let's do chemistry. And now since I had very, very less time left, I was like, the sort of strategy was ki read the questions, like go through them. If it's easy, do it. If it's not, leave it. If it's easy, do it. If it's not, leave it. Okay, so I was basically trying to figure out, like, I was just going through the paper and I was like, okay, this seems like a doable, easy question, less time. Let me just do it quickly and get it over with. So I was like, just I was finding out all of the inorganic questions, organic wale questions, because they are not really time consuming compared to physical wale questions, which are calculation based, time consuming. So I was like, let me just quickly do it. So the first question I had was from inorganic. Ferromagnetism is considered an extreme form of paramagnetism. Great. I was really happy to read this. I was like, let me just finish this very quickly. So the whole strategy was ki I am basically gonna just do all the easy questions, stick them, do them very great. And by this time, there were like 5-10 minutes left. Yeah, and I still had so many questions left. So, you know, um, I do not like what I did next, but I was like, ठीक है, अब मैं तुक्का मारना शुरू करूंगी. And in an ideal situation, when I would have been using my head, I would have probably left those questions. Okay, I would have got more marks if I had left those questions. But nahi, I was like, nahi, mujhe +5 chahiye. So, I was like, chalo yaar, let's just, sorry, not +5, +4. Chalo yaar, let's just, I am confused between two options. Let me just pick one, tukka, which I shouldn't have done, and you should leave the question if you're not able to do it. But I was like in a panicky mode, 5-10 minutes left, and I just decided to go ahead and tick the answer. And most of them turned out wrong. So yeah, I ended up getting 126 in chemistry. But yeah, because I didn't have time, and then I ended up leaving questions too. Um, and I left one question in chemistry in which you have to find isomers for ethers. I still remember that question because I didn't have time to do that question, but it was an easy question, right? I could have done it just to find ether. The what do we call? I forgot. But wait, let me show you the question. Yes, isomers of ethers, both structural as well as stereo. I did not have time, so I left the question. But I should have left other questions as well, which I didn't. I just took card. Like I just literally just was like, okay, I'm confused between two options. Let me just put this option. Most like, hopefully it's right. But it wasn't right. It was wrong. Okay. So if you're ever in a situation like this, don't do the question. Leave it. You won't get -1 if it gets wrong at least, right? So yeah, at the end, and also, okay, I don't know, like the invigilators, so irritating, man. I was like, भाई मैं क्वेश्चन करने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ and every single, like every 5 minutes they're just coming, hello signature, hello thumbprint, photo. I'm like, भाई मैंने अभी फिजिक्स का पेपर देखा है, तुम मुझे स्माइल करने के लिए कह रहे हो यार. So I was like, ठीक है मेरी फोटो, ग्रेट, कैमरामैन गया, एंड हर 5 minutes में please fill out all your details on the question paper. Please check your OMR again and again. Please sign here, sign this. Let me check your OMR. Let me check your question paper. I'm like, give me a break. Because you see, let me tell you, when you're in that flow of writing the paper, right, and someone keeps constantly disturbing you, it's not easy to get back into that flow of writing your paper. Okay, so this was really annoying. And also let me tell you something, you don't get rough sheets in NEET. Okay, and if you have brilliant invigilators like I did, they won't let you do the calculations next to the question. Where are you supposed to do the calculation? On the back sheet, on the back sheet of your question paper. So I was literally, when I was doing physics, when the invigilator used to come near me, like they keep doing rounds. When the invigilator used to come near me, I used to do the calculations on the rough sheet, and when she used to go away from me, I used to do the calculations next to the questions in physics, because I cannot fit all of my calculations on this page and on this page. I cannot. And also, it's like pretty irritating to keep switching your pages back and forth. So keep that in mind, okay? You may have the blessing to get such an invigilator. Um, who may not allow you to do the question, who may not allow you to do the rough work next to the question, and that kind of ended up happening with me. So I had to do all of my calculations here, but you sort of figure out a way to sort of do the calculation next to the question. So like whenever they would go, I would just do it there. But yeah, because and if they would come, then you are supposed to do the calculations on the rough sheet. So yeah. And what was my reaction after the paper? After the paper got over, after I gave the paper, and then we all got out of the classroom, I was in such shock. I started laughing. I'm not even kidding. I started laughing. I was like sort of like just smiling to myself, and I was like, see, it was like good feelings and bad feelings together. Good feeling was कि यार NEET खत्म खत्म NEET, ठीक है. And bad feeling was कि paper didn't really go according to plan. And even after the paper I was like कि चलो यार drop लेने का time आ गया है. So this was my first attempt. Okay, so I was like, it's fine, we'll do great in our drop year, and yeah, I was like, I wasn't crying, I wasn't sad or anything, I was just so sad that I was laughing. It was like that, I was like, see, I was happy because now I don't have to study for the rest of the day, I get to enjoy for the rest of the day. But then I was also sad because like what just happened. And yeah, I even like talked to this girl outside, like we were waiting to get out, and we were like outside the exam hall, and I was like asking her like, dude, what happened in the paper? Like, wasn't it tougher than JE? And she's like, yeah, it was like much tougher than JE. And then everyone around us also discussing ki yaar, what was this physics? It was like JE advanced, and I was like, great, so I'm not the only one. And even like when I was doing physics in my exam room, like one girl, she put her head down, the person sitting next to me had just given up and he was just sitting like this. So you could sort of feel the environment and you were like, okay, this paper is tough for everyone. But the main thing that really helped me was just to keep calm, right? Just be like, I did not do this. I was just like, Anusha, calm down. It's fine. Anusha, calm down. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Fine. It's not the end of the world. It's fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. Just move on to the next question. If you're not able to do it, move on to the next question. That was the sort of the whole thing. And actually, my dad had been there, like my dad and my brother, they were there the whole time and they were waiting in the car. And, my dad is really sweet. He didn't really ask me, like, he wasn't like in an interrogative mode. He was like more in a fun way, ki, kaisa gaya paper and all that. Even my friend was with me. So, we went to have like milkshakes later and it was just really good. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of like parents asking ki kaisa gaya paper, I wasn't really scared to tell them because I felt comfortable enough to like tell them ki it wasn't good. And yeah, I mean, I didn't, they were understanding because you get to know from other people also that it was a pretty tough paper. And yeah, that's basically what. So yeah, I mean, I really appreciate how my parents sort of took the whole situation and weren't really in my face all the time ki what did you do in the paper and all of that. But yeah, they were pretty understanding and like sweet and nice. And then the rest of the day, like we went out after a long time. I had gone out and I was like, yeah, this is nice. And then I started getting calls from my teachers, ki how much are you getting, how much are you getting? I'm like, ma'am, I'll just check tomorrow and I'll let you know. And then yeah, I checked my paper the next day. But that's a different story. So if you want to know the part two, I can definitely make a part two. But I don't know if you guys would want to hear this side. But yeah, I'd be down to make it. So thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.